Okay, hello, hello. A very, very good morning, afternoon, or evening, of course, wherever you are in the world. Welcome, welcome, welcome to our leadership cocktail we have again this morning. The lines are absolutely filling in. And again, so excited to be here today with our special guest speaker. Again, and I can't wait to be able to introduce you guys to this amazing, of course, leader that we have in our company. And so, again, go ahead, of course, grab your drink, grab your coffee, your tea, your water, or again, your cocktail, whatever is in your cocktail. Go ahead, take some time to grab that, and of course, take some moments here. Take some moments to invite everyone that you know to join us on this fantastic call this wonderful Sunday morning. I'm doing the same thing as we speak, inviting people as well too. Um, and of course, can't wait to get a chance to hear from our incredible our incredible guest speaker today. I know I have a lot of questions myself, for this wonderful speaker. I want to know more about her background, where did she come from? What did she do? Of course, before Opulence. And of course, can't wait to share with you guys so much more. I see so many people already joining the call. Hello, good morning, Aguada, Albert from China. Of course, Astahil, Cartanina, Charlene. Welcome, Christine. Welcome, Daniel. Welcome, Dion. Welcome, Ellie. Welcome, Emily. Of course, welcome Fatia. Actually, Fatia and Fatima. Welcome, welcome. Welcome, Kelvin from the UK. And congratulations, of course, if you've been watching tennis. So impressive seeing Emma take home the US Open, of course, first qualifier in the history of women's tennis for a qualifier to win, of course, the U.S. Open. So congrats to, of course, UK for that as well too. And again, seeing that, seeing stories like the match yesterday really just, of course, reminds me, of course, how we can have incredible success stories like that, of course, in Opulence. I love seeing people that don't have any background or any previous, I guess, championship wins. And she was a qualifier, Emma. And so she literally had to play 3 extra rounds, I believe, to take home the US Open. And she's also born in Toronto. That you're right, Dia. She's born in Toronto, but of course, I guess trained and raised in the UK. But I just love seeing people that have, again, no experience in terms of, being on titles, having any ATP points coming out of nowhere and just take home the championship like that. So again, yeah, teenagers playing. But that just shows that anything is possible, especially in our line of business. You don't have to be, for example, a medical doctor. You don't have to be a scientist. You don't have to be a mathematician. You don't have to, be an engineer or anything like that of any sort, of any kind, to have any kind of success in Opus. You don't have to have super high, IQ. You don't have to have anything like that. Anything can happen, of course, in this business. Again, welcome, welcome, Tammy Whitmer from the USA. Welcome, Yulia from Israel. Of course, welcome, Dion. Welcome Zara from the USA. Again, welcome Reza, our other multi-millionaire in this business, of course, too. And the first multi-millionaire in our business. Welcome Reza. Again, welcome Lorianne. Welcome Fazia from Nairobi, Kenya. Welcome John Wilson from New York, part of Maria Baptiste's team. Of course, welcome to Naima from Minnesota. Welcome, welcome. And welcome Jane from Kenya as well too. Welcome Stella from the UK. Welcome Nancy from the UK. Welcome Estrelita. And welcome, of course, Fatia Meng. Welcome Henry, Haley. Welcome, welcome. Welcome Jane, Jocelyn, Kelvin, Lori Booms, Lorianne, Mike, Mona, Leadhead from Ottawa. Welcome Donna Harper from Calgary. Welcome Nora Bastian. Of course, Rico from the Philippines. Welcome Terry Newborn. Welcome Timothy Cheng. Welcome Yakov. Again, so many people. There's even a Chinese name here that unfortunately I'm Chinese, but I can't read Chinese. Welcome Mike from Australia. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This again, the call is just being loaded right now. Welcome Ruth Paul. Of course, welcome Amun. Wow, again, so many people, of course, joining this call. Again, take some time to send some invites, of course, to your friends, to your family, to join us this wonderful Sunday morning, and more important, to be inspired, to get awoken, get some motivation to see what can happen for you in this business if you give it some proper time, some consistent effort and attention. Let's see what can happen, of course, by hearing today our incredible guest speaker's story. So as the call continues to launch, I'm going to get this call started here. I know it's already 10:05.
Good morning, Renee.
Hello, good morning, Maria. Welcome, welcome. How are you doing?
Very well, thank you. From Toronto, Canada.
Welcome,
I wouldn't
welcome.
miss this call. I wouldn't miss this call. Thank you so much.
Of course, of course. Of course, Maria Batista, another one of our incredible leaders that is literally, again, so consistent, always doing things every single day. I see her every single week. She's on every single call. And again, she, of course, took home the top PV sales, of course, last year. So she is an absolute dynamite. And of course, we're going to be featuring Maria Baptiste in one of our future, of course, Sunday Leadership Cocktail calls. But again, thank you for being here this morning as well, too. And of course, welcome, Drusilla. All right, so we're going to get this call started together. And of course, it gives me great honor and, of course, privilege to be able to introduce to you our guest speaker for this morning. And, I guess I can share a little bit of how I actually also met our incredible speaker. And that's no other than, of course, Amarjeet Kaur. And what happened, I guess, to introduce how I kind of got to know this incredible superstar was I had a partner that was in Australia. And when this partner found out that I was going to Alberta for a presentation and for a tour, he had invited our incredible speaker, Amarjeet, to join me, of course, in Calgary. And however, the story is not quite what you would probably imagine in terms of, her being gung-ho, wanting to come out, wanting to meet me. It was actually quite the opposite. But I'll let her share a bit of that story with you guys in terms of what she was going through, what she was thinking. Did she really want to come and, of course, meet me and attend a business presentation? It's a very, very interesting story. But today, of course, she is now our lifestyle director 3, the lady who single-handedly started and opened the whole entire Singapore market. Of course, she was able to, beyond that, I think one dream that a lot of people have is to be able to financially take care of your family, of course, be able to even perhaps retire your husband. Now, if you're on this call, can you imagine that, a lady who basically was not the breadwinner, who was not, the main income provider, essentially, of the family, being able to retire her husband. Listen carefully, to retire her husband. And not only that, but to be able to fly back and forth her husband, of course, to Singapore. So they actually moved, packed their bags, and now they're finally in Singapore, living the life. She also was responsible for opening the Singapore distribution center. So she definitely is not, I guess that's what we call the normal mentality. I believe that we had a joke in the company that all of us here are a bit weird in the sense that, and weird is in, you want to be weird. You want to think outside the box, right? You want to be different, basically. And of course, it gives me great honor and privilege to be able to interview today in our leadership cocktail, no other than, of course, Amarjeet Kaur. So first and foremost, Amarjeet, I want to welcome you to the call. Do we have you on the call with us today, Amarjeet?
Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone. How are you guys?
Wonderful. Well, Amarjeet, I know it's already 10 p.m. for you in Singapore. I want to thank you, of course, for taking the time to be here on a Sunday evening when you could be, who knows, in bed, who knows, partying in Singapore somewhere, but you're here with us today. So again, first and foremost, welcome, Amarjeet, to the call. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you, everyone, for being on the call. Oh my God, I'm seeing so many of you. I'm so grateful to be on this call with every one of you. And you guys always inspire me on what
Wonderful.
you are doing. I'm just a follower.
Well, I think we all start off really as followers, of course, in whatever you do. But of course, it's how quickly can you move that into becoming a leader, and of course, leading by example. Now, Amarjeet, I was just saying earlier before that and I think one question that everyone wants to know about is, well, what's your background? Like, where did you come from? What did you do? And so let me just start off by asking you a few questions here. So continue from where I was sharing my story. So we had a mutual friend, of course, and we know his name. And we're going to mention this person because you would think that perhaps, they also be in this story till now, given what you know about Amarjeet, but we'll get there a bit later on. But, how did you, Amarjeet, so when our share that story, he called you, invited you to come to a tour. What were you thinking? Were you gung ho like, I'm gonna come and see this meeting, or were you, and that's what everyone would think is you just went to the meeting, but what actually happened? Share with us.
Actually, Basil from Australia. I've been doing networking with him in Australia because I was staying in Australia for 9 years, and a lot of we work hard, but we didn't get through and all. So when Renee was coming to Calgary, he gave me a call and told me that, oh, you have to meet this young gentleman who is a youngest millionaire in the company. So I told Basil, I said, I don't care who is a millionaire or whatever it is, I don't care. Because whenever I've been to many conventions, I always go for convention because I really want to build the business. And there's always the hoo-ha, and after that, you don't even see them, you don't even have the support and all, and you work hard and, things don't work. So I told Basil, I said, no, I'm not really interested, forget about it.
Wow.
But yeah, forget about it. I don't want to do any networking anymore. I stopped networking in 2009, for your info.
Now that's so important here because a lot of us, of course, in this business, when we're out there, of course, inviting people, doing our prospecting, some of us might actually think, well, maybe I shouldn't talk to this person because I know they're going to be closed-minded. I know that they're not going to want to see anything, right? And so I guess, we had to, I guess, applaud Basil of the things, one thing that he's done right was he was, I guess, not in the, even though he's been in networking as well, for his whole entire life. Basil has been in many, many companies, probably more than me and MG combined together have been in. But he, one thing that was good that he did was he didn't actually, I guess, prejudge. He did not prejudge Amarjeet, even though he probably knew that Amarjeet was done with networking, right? So now you shared the story with me how it was like 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. The meeting was at 7:30 p.m. of course that evening, and you're in the car with Mike, your husband, right? So what happened in that car ride?
Okay, and actually, Renee, actually, I'm very grateful to Renee, actually very grateful to him, because when he reached Calgary at the airport, actually he called me. He called me and said, hey, Amarjeet, are you coming for a meeting? I said, he said, yeah, no, he told me, he said, Basil told me to call you that to invite you for a meeting. I said, yes, he did tell me, but I'm sorry. I did say, I'm sorry. I said, thank you very much. I'm not interested. I banged down the phone.
And I remember that.
Even though I knew Renee was a millionaire, because I've heard so many stories about, when you go for networking, even though, but I'm telling you, Renee was so persistent. He sent me a flyer he sent me a flyer on the meeting. And what happened that day itself, my husband have a real estate meeting. And the real estate meeting was for all guys. Usually we always go together, but that day his friends, his real estate people say that it's only for guys. So he told me, okay, can you drive me there and drive me back because they're going to have some drinks and all. I say, yeah, that's fine. But it was about 5:30, something like that. I had a buffer time. And in the car, I was telling my husband, I said, where's this place? So he said, actually, it is on the way to my office. I said, really? I said, you know what? My friend from Australia has been bugging me to go for this meeting. Then my husband told me, why don't you go for a meeting and see what it is? If you don't like it, just walk out. Then I think about it, actually it's true, very true. So if I don't like it, I walked out. So we went for a meeting and I saw Renee and a bunch of people there. And I was like, where are the products? I don't see any products. Because it was it's a restaurant area, but they had their products in the presentation room, but I went before the presentation. So I'm telling you, it's amazing. So Renee, I saw Renee and I say, hey, Renee, I'm Amarjeet. He said, oh, nice to see you. So he did the presentation before the presentation.
I think, you know, because I really want to slow the story down because again, it's moving pretty fast here, and there's so much stuff that, you know, I think there's golden nuggets here along the way, right? And because I think one thing that's really important is that in this particular situation, you know, Mike, your husband, was actually the one who kind of, in some ways, encouraged you to go and
Yes.
take a look. Because he said what he said, if you don't like it, why don't you go take a look? And if you don't like it, just walk out. So I think it sounds like he has a very open mind, and we actually have to give some appreciation and love to your
Because
husband, Mike.
because he's not a networker, he's not in MLM at all.
Right, right. He just looks at it as, is there an opportunity here that's worth looking at? And that's a key thing to, I think, just to take home with us today, which is, hey, you know, keep in mind that sometimes you can always tell your prospects, hey, you know, there's no harm in taking a look. Just come and look. If you don't like it, just, you know, just say no or just leave, right? So now I remember that day, we're in the, I guess, the restaurant area of that hotel. You know, we walk in, you turn right. I still remember that exact hotel, and just steps going up into the restaurant. And I remember, of course, Amarjeet walking in, of course, with Mike. And you know, so when you came in, you mentioned that you didn't see any products because all of our fashion. And back then, one thing to take home here, folks, was that we did not have Fountain of Life back then. We did not even have the toothpaste. We didn't have the shampoo conditioner, or even of course not that Sterling. We did not even have Flawless back then. So when you came in, all you saw was what?
Fashion.
Was fashion. And of course, the fashion, as you mentioned, was still in the hotel meeting room. Um, and you know what's really interesting is that I still recall when I was talking to Amarjeet about fashion, that I guess you had this one particular, I guess, thought about fashion. Like, were you in it? Were you in for it? Were you not in for it? What were you thinking when you saw fashion?
Frankly speaking, my background, I am not a fashionable person. I don't wear much of jewelries and all. Yes, I used to with usually gold. I'm on mostly with gold. I love gold. But so it was fashion. One thing was because Renee mentioned there is no any other company who does fashion. We are the only one in the world that does fashion.
And of
So
course, what I meant by that, right, folks, is that within our industry of direct sales, and it still stands true, this statement till today, is that we are the only company in the world that does fashion in all of direct sales, right? And so what that means, of course, and what I was trying to tell Amarjeet was that we're very unique. You know, there's no competitors against you. We're the only ones. Till this day, we're still the only company that. So, like, so guys, when you heard me say that, did it trigger something for you? Did it make sense to
yes,
you?
it did trigger to me because I don't have to worry about knowing the products and knowing the science behind all the supplements and all. It was so easy. He asked me a very simple question. He says that, Amarjeet, how much do you spend a year in giving away gifts? I said, can be about $500 to $1,000. So he said, what about if I show you a platform where you get paid to wear? That's it. Simple question.
You know, that question, we still use it today, right? You know, what if you can get paid to wear and promote fashion? Because that's basically what we do as well, right? And you know, I guess one thing that I want to touch upon that you just mentioned that's really important here is how much, you know, I guess how much experience do you say you have in direct sales, MLM. Share with us a bit about what you've done before Opulence. You know, we're all kind of curious to know this.
Yes, I was in a few company. I did, actually, my first company was in 1998. That was in JB, and it was a Japanese company. And I used to travel from Singapore because during that time, Singapore wasn't allowed MLM to work on. So I used to travel to JB every day and bringing partners to Malaysia. JB is Johor Bahru, is Malaysia. So we have to go the border like Canada and America. So we have to go the borders, and we have to bring our prospect all the way to Malaysia to do a registration. And it was so strict. It was a Japanese company. It was a Japanese company, and we was doing to do with iron mats on the bait. You put the iron mats on the bait. But it was so strict. If we reach there, the door closed at 2 o'clock sharp. If we reach there at 2:05, we are not allowed to go in.
Wow. You know, one thing that you just mentioned that I didn't even actually realize, and I think it's important to point this out because it shows the evolution of our industry, is you just mentioned that Singapore did not allow MLM back then. And so,
yes.
folks, you know, I want you to take notice, right? Why is it, of course, that now countries are opening up and accepting MLM? Because it is needed. It is a much needed industry, right? So again, but back to your story. So, I mean, so to enroll someone into the business, what you're saying is you had to travel from Singapore, cross the border, get there before 2 p.m. sharp. Otherwise, your whole trip crossing the border on the bus would be completely wasted. Wow. And nowadays, folks, sometimes we complain about how hard our business can be, and yet we can enroll someone from the comfort of your own bedroom. You can just be on computer and have someone enroll online, right? So again, amazing how we have evolved. But that's what it took back then, right? So again, in that company, right? I mean, did you have, you know, did you make millions? You know, did you have great success?
No,
did you have failures?
It was a bit very sad. We have, you know, you have to enroll 7 people in 7 days. So I achieved that. We call it a Super 7. So I received a star for Super 7. In 7 days, you enroll 7 people.
Oh, and you managed to pull that off. So I guess you're traveling back and forth the border.
Oh, yes, I was really traveling up and down. But
you weren't even going like once a week. You're going, this trip you're doing is like
few days,
every day.
I mean, a few times, yes, every day.
My goodness. Like the commitment to build your business and what you're willing to do is just.
Yeah, that was my first MLM company that I went to.
So what happened? What happened with that company?
What happened is I was doing very well, and we went to Malaysia, KL, to receive our Super 7 award and all. And after that, the company bust.
It bust, meaning?
Cut down. I mean, close.
So, and how long were you doing it for when it closed?
It was just a few months.
Wow. So a few months, you got your Super 7 pen, whatever you call it.
Yeah, I was so upset. I said, "Oh my God!" And also the mattress is not cheap. You know, the iron mattress was about Singapore dollars is $3,799. The mattress.
Wow. So you're selling mattresses basically, which is a tough sale, I would say. It's not an easy sale to sell $3,000 mattress. It is 19 when? This is $3,000 back then.
Yeah, it was in 1998, 99.
I mean, $3,000 back then is probably like what, $12,000, $15,000 today. And yet some of us in this business complain that, I mean, I don't think it's an issue, but some people do complain, wow, like, 1875 or 1920 is a big amount. Yet again, that's why I love hearing these stories, because it really gives you a perspective of, are we thinking the wrong way again? And yet Amarjeet is proving to us here that even with a $15,000 buy-in, that she's still able to do that business, right? So what happened now after that company? Did you lose your heart? Did you lose your spirit for MLM? Did you want, what's going through your mind at this point in time?
I did, and I did not do MLM anymore. And during that time, also after, also I divorced. I got divorced. I mean, we got separate ways, and I decided. Then after a year, I moved. I started doing a direct sale. I did a direct sale with actually a steam cleaning machine in Singapore.
Okay.
I employed myself in a steam cleaning machine. I was doing direct sales. I was doing very well with that. And the company actually decided to open up in Australia. So actually I went to Australia because the company decided to open in Australia. But unfortunately, did not get approved. So I was very disappointed, and I came back. And during that time, I really made up my mind that I want to go to Australia. I want to go to Australia. So what I did was, I was 40 years old. I got divorced I was 39, and 40 years old, I have this mind that I want to go to Australia. So I was 40 years old. I enrolled myself in an IT program, because during that time, IT was so
it was growing.
And it was growing. So I enrolled myself in IT, which I never touched a computer before. And
Wow.
because I'm a people person, and yeah, so I never touched a computer, and I went for an IT program. I did my basic course, and I did my advanced course. And during the course, and in Singapore, in Australia, while you're studying, right, you can do, you can work. You can work a week, 20 hours. So I was working for like 7-Eleven, it is called
a convenience store.
Yeah, so it's 7-Eleven kind of the convenience store, right?
Right,
so
right.
It was $10 an hour, and I was working, and that boss of mine, he found that I was very hardworking. He was asking me, "Hey, Amarjeet, do you mind working for me in mortgage broker?" I said, "What is mortgage broker?" So he said, "Oh, you can do a course on that while you're doing this course." I said, "Okay, no worries. I'll do a mortgage course." And I did a mortgage course, and I started becoming a mortgage broker. I know all the rules of the mortgage broker. And I was telling my boss, I said, "You know what? All your clients, when we get approved of their mortgage, they buy property, right?" He said, "Yeah." So I said, "Why don't I do a real estate course?" So I did a real estate course.
Your mind's always thinking.
I did a real estate course, so I actually double. You see, what happened when the person got approved of their mortgage, I sell them a property.
So, one thing I want to ask you was, when you're selling the steam cleaners, right? That was direct sales. Like,
Yes,
did you have
direct.
to go sort of backtrack, but I think it's important. Did you have to go door to door? Like, how did you
Yes.
sell those steam cleaners?
Okay, how do we got the door to door? Because the company have telemarketers.
Okay.
Yeah, so the telemarketers actually make appointments for us. So
Okay.
yes, yeah. So we go to the house, we do the demo. Whether the person buy or not, you should not judge. You not judge whether the person buy, because the machine and all is a whole package, cost you about $5,000, because it comes with a steam cleaning machine, it comes with a portable sauna, and it comes with a steam cleaning iron. So I would like to share one story. And there was a new guy who joined me, and he says that we went to a 3-room flat, just nothing much, not many furnitures and all. So he told me, "Amarjeet, no." I said, "Don't worry. Our job is go in. Once we go in, we have to show whatever it is. what we have. So we went in and I showed everything. And I think the husband is maybe some business person or what. The wife is a teacher. I showed her everything, and she bought the whole set for $5,000 over dollars cash.
Wow.
So the guy who followed me, he was shocked. So he said, "Oh my God, I thought it was no way in this house, no way you will sell it." I said, "That's the thing. When you go in, you have to do what you need to do. You don't worry whether the person buying or not. No, you have to do what you need to do and let them decide."
I love that. 'Cause I think that's such a key lesson in really in any business, right? What you say is that you just have to do what you gotta do. You gotta do your thing, right? Do the presentation, do the tour, and not even think about the outcome, right? Is that your mindset? You just do, follow the process pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, be process oriented, right?
Yeah.
Now again, that's another key point. So moving along now with your story. So what eventually, I guess it sounds like you eventually left that mortgage real estate. Like what happened after that?
Yes, no, I would say there was really, really a good income for me. I got my daughter study in university in Sydney, and she graduated. And in 2009, she finished her uni and she got a job in Singapore in if we call it the IMH, it's the Institute of Mental Health. She's actually a OT, occupational therapy in the mental health. And
Okay.
she got a job and she decided that she wants to go back to Singapore. So I packed everything. I packed everything, whatever I had, and came back to Singapore.
So how did you get to
And
Calgary
start
now from
all
Singapore?
over again.
Oh, sorry.
And I start all over again at the age of 49.
So it sounds like you're just, moving around, like again, like you said, starting all over again, which is a feat and an accomplishment on its own, right? I know a lot of people would be timid or scared to pack their bags and go somewhere. So how did that bring you now? Because now you're back in Singapore, Australia, Singapore. How did you get back to Calgary, where of course we met then?
Okay, I came back to Singapore and I start working with Robert. I think you all know Robert Greatbatch. He was my boss in
Okay.
HR. Yes, I used to do events for him because he know that I just came back from Australia. He said, "Amarjeet, I need someone. Can you help me?" I said, "Sure." So I did events for him. And in 2012, actually Mike's niece got married. And that's where I met Mike in 2012, December. And 2013, I got married to Mike in Nevada, Reno, Nevada. And
Wow.
yep, and then I start all over again.
So basically, you got married, and then you basically moved to Calgary to be with, of course, the lovely Mike that we all know today, right?
So a lot of my friends always tell me, I don't know how you just move here and move there, and then you just settle down.
So again, now that you're in Calgary with Mike, like what were you doing in Calgary before, were you working? What were you doing before you met Opulence?
Nothing. I was not doing anything. I was a housewife. From 2013, got married to him. We was traveling, some weddings and all. We was traveling until 2015. Around maybe December or November, one of his friend, actually Mike's friend, told Mike, he said, "Why don't you ask your wife to join us in WFG?" So because I had to be a PR before I joined the company, so I became a PR in 2015, and he enrolled me as in WFG is World Financial Group or something like that they call it. So actually I enrolled myself and I was doing the exam before I met Renee. I
So
was
for those
doing
who
the
don't know, because really important, WFG is like another MLM company. It's another marketing company. But what they sell there is basically like insurance policies, essentially, right? So I guess you were open to doing some kind of MLM and you were studying, you're saying, for that course?
Yes, because you see, I don't want to be bound to jobs, right? I want to travel. I love traveling, so I don't want to be bound into a job that I have to take leave or something like that. So I want a freelance that I can do things on my own or want to travel or what is my own freedom. So yes, I did. I was doing the course before I met Renee. There was four exam that you need to do. Three of them was online. So I finished two. I finished two in one day, and the guy, Mike's friend, was telling, "Oh my God, your wife just finished the course just like that." He said, "Yeah." To me, I told him, I said, "If I'm interested, I'll do it, and this is what I am." So after I met, I was doing the third test. I was going to do the third test when I met Renee. So
Ah,
yes.
wow. So, I mean, first and foremost, I think what you mentioned is so important, right? Is that when Amarjeet commits to something, you give it your all. Like you're not like, 20% in, you're not half in, you're not 99%, you're like 100% in when you do something, right?
Yeah.
And so that's so what so again when you from that, like what happened was you ended up going, I guess, full force with Opulence, right?
Yes.
So one question everyone's probably wondering is what made you like you did two tests for that MLM company to be selling insurances. What went through your mind to make you go and decide that you're going to stop doing that? Because you already spent time doing that. You did two exams. You're working on your third exam. What made you? What were you thinking that just that? No, I want to do Opulence. What was going through your mind? Why did you pick to do Opulence instead of that BFG company?
Because Opulence was global. Uh,
Ah,
during that time was GWT. It was global. That I can. The most important thing was I can travel to Singapore and I can still introduce this business to my Singapore friends.
I think I remember talking to you about that. 'Cause I think I mentioned, and I know I guess I had to word it really carefully, right? Because again, you never want to bash another company, especially that she's taking the third exam for. I think I mentioned to you that I think what I said was one of the benefits of our company is that you can build it globally, right? I think we mentioned stuff about residual income, or I think I also mentioned to you that when someone cancels their policies, that you claw back all of your sales commission you earn. So they pay you first, right? Did that kind
Yes,
of help you?
yes, there was also one thing that Renee told me because I still not very sure about the policy and I'm still not sure about the company because they don't tell you everything, which is, you're still not sure until Renee told me. I think, oh my God, if they cancel, you have this. So for me, it was very easy. Fashion. Everybody buys it, right? Why you buy it from your other mall? Buy it from your own shop. So that was my own thing. I said, all right, just need to change people mindset. That's it.
Wow. Again, you would think that perhaps someone who's gone through what MG has gone through would probably be tired or not looking for another opportunity. But of course, the truth is everyone's always looking for an opportunity. And it sounds like in terms of MLM, like you didn't have, I guess, a lot of experience in MLM, but you had a lot of experience, I guess, doing a lot of direct sales. Like, do you have fear when you talk to people, or are you fearless?
No, I now I mean no, I don't have fear. I make friends with people. Yeah, so I don't have fear with anyone because I know what I'm doing and what is like. You see, the most important thing is like what we have learned about the tripod of belief. You must believe in the company. You have to believe in the product, and you have to believe in yourself. Once you have that, nobody can shake you.
Wow, love that. Now, people are probably thinking, well, okay, Amarjeet probably had the easiest time building her business based upon her direct sales background. She must have had the easy time building Opulence Global. Did you, is that true? Or, like, did you have your up and downs? Did you have your challenges? Share with us.
101%. We all have challenges. I never built MLM in Singapore. And the company that I built MLM was in Australia. And in Singapore, definitely, when the first time when I spoke to few people about fashion, and telling them that what they can do as future if they are still working, but they still have the future to build the business. And yes, Singaporeans wasn't so into fashion. I've never heard about this fairy. I've not heard about Posh. So even my daughter was telling me, Mom, what kind of product are you having? So I told her very easy. I told her, I said, Lisha, how did LV or Kate or Gucci came into this everyone's buying? Why? Who are the promoters? People like us. But do you get paid? No. But I said, I have my product and I'm going to show my product and I get paid. Then you see, her mindset changed. Say, actually, it's true. You see, I say, you buy a LV bag for $8,000. Do you get paid? No.
You pay for that bag. You don't get paid.
Yeah, you pay for a bag and then and you wear it and then you give advertisement to others.
You're advertising that brand for them, basically.
Yeah, and you still don't get paid.
I love that. I love that. And so when did you move from Calgary to Singapore? Because you went back and forth. And of course,
Yes,
Very Flawless eventually came out in the company 2016, I think it was.
Yes, I used to travel. Okay, I joined Opulence GWT then was in 2016, March 11. So today is 5 years, 6 months, and 1 day.
Wow, down to the science. Okay,
yes,
so
yes. So I joined, and I used to travel to Singapore for my grandson's birthday. And during that time, I spent about 2 weeks here. So I'll talk to my friends about the business and the future about the business. And I got few people who joined me. And during that time was 3,599, the highest package, Canadian dollars. So I got people joining me and I will leave and I go back to Canada. And then in 2017, we came out with a Very Flawless. And also during when I will travel back to Singapore again for a few months, I'll stay, I'll talk to people about the business and the product, and I'll go back again and come back. Like in a year, I used to travel, I think 3 or 4 times, and it's not nearby. It's about 20 something hours. And a lot of my friends, my Singapore friends will always disturb me. Hey, Amarjeet, are you traveling a bus or what? But one thing I really appreciate, I don't get jet lag. I can reach in the morning at 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. I can go for a meeting at 11 a.m.
Wow. So, when did because now we have Very Flawless and you're going back and forth. I recall going to Singapore and doing a few meetings, but you didn't have your immediate like boom, right? Like you didn't have.
I built one by one. My business is one by one. I did not have like I got a people just no. I built one by one.
Did you get a lot of no's? Did you get a lot of rejection?
Definitely. 101% definitely you have no's, but you know what? You keep it aside. Keep it aside. No worries. You can say no, never mind. You keep it aside. So we keep on going. You know what? When you fish, right? You don't fish every day, you get a fish. So you keep on fishing.
I love that analogy. And now one thing that people, I forgot to mention about Amarjeet's background was I was so surprised when I first heard this of you. I was like, what? But were you in the army?
Yes, my background is from the army. I'm actually a parachuter.
You're a parachuter.
That's why, yes, I'm a parachuter. And actually, you see, I'm not, I'm a bit tomboyish. tomboyish, and I don't. I think Pamela knows me well. I have shared with her. I don't like makeup, lipsticks, and all that. I don't like it. And but yeah, after got married,
Wait, like, what were you in the army? Like, what age to what age? I'm just curious to know.
yeah, I was 19.
Okay.
Yeah, I was 19. I joined. Then I was there for 3 years. And when I met my husband, and my husband was my ex-husband was saying that, no, I think so. You have to change your vocation because there were. This is us, not going out, because there was a lot of injuries happening in the camp, and you know, some people the parachute don't open and all. So he said you better change vocation. So
I'm gonna ask you, like, how many jumps? How many jumps did you do as a parachuter?
about three, about maybe about 300, I would say, because I love jumping. I love the adventure.
You
Yeah.
jumped off or more. Is what is what you're saying. And you just mentioned that something, because I remember asking this question in Singapore, right? Like, have you seen people fall to their deaths because the parachute didn't open? And you mentioned, what was
Oh
your
yes,
answer?
yes, I do. A parachute don't open, and even if we have reserve, some of the reserve also malfunction. So it just it happens. So you know, sometimes
But you kept jumping. You're a soldier. You have a strong.
you have to go, man.
I think it's just great seeing like who you are, because we always hear about your story, but we don't know. Yeah,
I,
Fico just wrote
I'm
fearless
also
captain.
yeah, I'm also a black belt in Taekwondo. Yep.
What?
And yeah,
I didn't even
yep.
know that. You have a black belt? Like Mary Baptiste is like a black belt in karate, I think, right? You have a black belt in Taekwondo. Yeah,
Yeah.
so folks, what I met Amarjeet, a really funny story. It is because I was traveling with Amarjeet through Singapore, and she has like 30 different names for her, or at least 10. I'm over exaggerating. But I mean, how many names do you have? Like they call you boss, Captain AJ, Amarjeet, like you have all these names, I guess, from the backgrounds that you've been in, right?
Yeah, because I know it's a
Bouncer, they
lot.
call you bouncer. I was like, what's bouncer?
Yeah, bouncer is because I used to fight a lot in the clubs.
Wow. So
Helping
we won't go there.
people, not about.
We won't go there. But again, I think we were just seeing a side of Amarjeet. She was. I remember telling me a story that her friend got in trouble at a club, and she went to the club and she took care of business. And so I told Amarjeet, please, never hurt me. I'm your friend. But so okay, so again, you know we had Flawless, and you're promoting Flawless. But when did you decide? Because we all know that today you're the lady who opened up the Singapore distribution center, right? Like, what was your goal? Like, what were you thinking in your mind to just go and become the Singapore distribution? Like, what was going through your mind back then?
Yes, okay. I met Sanas in 20. No, I went for the convention in 2017 in March.
Oh, by the way,
And
so Emoji, when she got signed up, the
oh, I think
next week we had the conference in Toronto. This is really important. So you signed up, you paid 3,599 Canadian back then, $4,000, right, with
no,
taxes.
3599 4 accounts.
You bought 4 accounts, right?
Myself, my husband, and our 2 kids.
Wow.
And okay, I want to tell you this. I did not have money. We did not have money. We did not. Really, really, we did not have money because I saw the business and I said, this is what I want to build. I told Mike about this. I want to build this. And we took our credit cards and we put everything on this for $15,000 on this.
Wow.
We did
Because I
not
was
have.
thinking you had money, right? We're all probably thinking, wow, MG had money for 4 accounts, 3,599. You put all that on a credit card.
On the credit card. And when I went, okay, another thing that inspired me when Renee told me there was a convention going on in Toronto, And I was telling Mike, I say we should go for this convention because we have invested $15,000 in this company. Let's go and see the company, whether it's really there or it is really happening and all. So that's what we went to Toronto for the convention. And when we went for the convention, my whole thing changed. Really, that was 2016. And
on top of buying 4 accounts, you also put the flight, you put all that money
the hotel
onto a credit card, hotel, the conference ticket, flights. Wow. And what was it worth it, that conference?
Oh, yes, yes. I would say till today, anybody who is in the call today, please do not miss any conference call. Do not miss. That is the best of the best because till the day I joined from 2016 till today, because now with COVID and all, I never miss any conference call.
Okay, so that's incredible that you just had that level of commitment that, again, that I think a lot of people, we need to ask ourselves, do we have this level of commitment, right? And we have to make that decision in our mind to go 100% at this. And so again, so sort of backtrack to that. But what brought you to go and, move to Singapore now and build things over there? Like, what happened?
Yes, what happened is 2017, I would say, okay, backtrack. Back in 2017, I met Sanas. I went for the conference I think it was in October. And that's where they launched Fountain of Life. And also, I would tell you guys, I'm not a medicine person and I'm not a pill taker. When there was, when our company mentioned that we are coming out with a health product, I had a headache. Oh my God, this company is coming out with a health product. What am I going to do now? So I was because I don't like pills. I don't like pills. That's why a lot of company has asked me, like New Skin, all this company has asked me because they got so many pills. So it's not me. So when they came out with it and they came out with a liquid form, I said, oh my God, this is wonderful. It's not a pill. And
you can take it. You can take it.
Yeah. And then what inspired me also, because I saw Sanas and Ramin in March, and in October, I think September, October, I saw so much difference in them. So I said, what the hell, what is happening with them? They are getting.
So what did you see?
I saw Sanas.
And by the way, folks, Ramin Sanas, we're pre-taking this product before it launched. So she's talking about, she knew that Ramin Sanas were taking this Fountain of Life product.
Good. She looks so good. I was wondering, what the hell? So they launched a Fountain of Life. And I asked, because I knew Sanas was traveling to Africa and other countries and all. So I went to Sanas. I said, Sanas, what about coming to Singapore? She said, sure, Amarjeet, I can come to Singapore. Give me 100 people.
Like put 100 people in a room is what you mean?
Yeah.
For me.
No, 100 people. It means we have 100 Ellies.
100 people joining the business and then she'll come.
Yeah. So no, I think she meant was 100 people in the room, but I took it as 100 LAs.
That's so funny. Oh my goodness. Okay.
So when I came back to Singapore, okay, and then the product came in 2018 February, right? And for me, it's because I used to jump, and also I'm a netballer. I play netball. So I have a lot of injuries that I never taken care of. So, but in 2012, I had a very bad fall during a final game in Malaysia. And that time I was 52. So I used to play netball still. And that fall, and make me, I couldn't even bend, and I couldn't even bend my knee. And the pain was from the back all the way down. And sometimes at night, I used to feel so hurt. I have to really actually punch my leg, that
Oh,
let the blood
wow.
flow. Yes. And I gone to TCM, I gone to doctor, forget about doctors. You know what? They ask you to take painkiller. I said,
Mm.
well, how can I take painkiller? It will damage my kidneys, right?
It's not even solving the problem, right? It's just masking the problem, the pain,
Yeah.
right? Wow.
I went to, I went to TCM, I went to doctors, I went to so many things, never ever, never happened
And
again.
nothing helped your back pain.
Yes. So can you imagine after Fountain of Life was launched, I got it I was in Canada then, and I took it for 10 days, just 10 days. And actually, I did not realize until Mike told me, nowadays I don't see you punching your leg. I said, yeah, actually. I said,
It punching
actually,
your leg.
yeah, because my leg sometimes at night it really hurt. So I would sometimes tell him, can you hit my leg, So it was really after 10 days, I said, oh yeah. So I told him, I said, oh, then you know what? I think I have to go back to Singapore. Then he asked me, why you want to go back to Singapore for? I said, I want to go back to Singapore and try this product myself to go back and play netball. He said, what? You want to play netball again? I said, yeah, because I want to try the product. So I came back I came back 2018, April. I came back in April. I went back to my club and I told them I'm back. I want to play the game just to train myself and all. So the coach told me, hey, Amarjeet, you're still fit. You still can play. You can still shoot. Why don't you play for us? I said, yeah, sure, I'll play for you. Then she told me, oh, we got a game in 2 months' time in June for the tournament. I said, what? 2 months? So I went for the training. I trained myself, everything. I went for a game. Can you imagine in 3 days, I played 7 games, 7 games with no problem.
Okay,
This,
one thing we have to mention is what's the age group of your team?
oh, it is okay. The game is actually open, but all the girls that was in the my team was all young one. They are 20 from 22, I think we have. I'm the oldest one. I was 58.
So you're a team of 20-year-olds, basically. Wow. So and
I
so basically the fountain of life kept the pain away. Like carry on, please. Like the pain didn't come back.
didn't come back. And then for Mike, he had his blood pressure was really high. It was 200 over, and he went back to normal. And another one was my daughter. My daughter has a snoring problem at night, and the husband actually told her to do operation in May. So I told her, I said, I told you about taking the fountain of life. You know, kids, right? They take today, tomorrow, they don't take, they forget and all that kind of thing. So she told me, Mom, can you help me to look after my grandson? Because she need to go for operation. I say, when is the operation? She say in May. So I say, okay. So while talking to her that night itself, I received a mess. I received a Fountain of Life. There was a testimonial about the snoring. So
Wow.
what I
Meant
did,
to be.
yes, meant to be. So I forwarded it to her. I said, you know what? I'm not stopping you to go for operation, but anyway, you do operation, right? The doctor doesn't guarantee you your snoring will go, right? So I said, okay. Fair enough. You want to go for operation? You go. I said, every morning you drink water, right? Warm water. Okay, put this fountain of life near your water so that you will never forget it. So from today, April till May, the day that you go for operation, you take this fountain of life. Can you imagine she took the fountain of life, no operation.
Wow. And snoring went away basically. Her husband must love you for that right now. Her husband must
So
love
that's,
you.
yeah. So this thing inspired me so much. I said, one teeny weeny bottle is helping so many people. And
Mm.
yes, like what Renee said, I have a lot of no's. Yes, I did. When
We
I
got to
came
talk
back,
about that right now because then you know before you started the distribution center, we started doing meetings in Singapore. Now, if you're thinking that our first meeting in Singapore, that Amarjeet had a room full of 100 people. So let's go one by one, right? Like we have like 4 meetings. So the first meeting, how you booked a room is, I remember that building room. It was like a small classroom. I think it's supposed to fit like 30 people, that meeting room, and you paid for that meeting room. How many people were actually there our first meeting?
I think about 6 maybe, or yeah, or
Six.
7.
6 people came out. So, we organized a huge tour and 6 people came out. And how many joined from that 6 people?
All joined. That one was all joined.
Oh, okay. I forgot about that one. I thought no one joined. Okay, but all joined.
Yes, all joined.
Okay.
That one all joined. Yes.
Okay. And
Because,
okay, you know what? I'm thinking about when we only had Flawless that first meeting. I think like 1 person joined, but then FOL came out.
correct.
And then 6 people, they all signed.
I remember when
100 people yet on the second meeting? Sorry, say again.
I remember when Renee was coming to Taiwan, I said, Renee, can you come to Singapore? He's so humble. He came to Singapore all the way with very few people.
Yeah, and I guess you felt bad, right? But I said, hey.
Felt bad. He says, it's okay, Amarjeet, we will grow. And another thing is because in Singapore, there is so many products. And I have a lot of no's. Amarjeet, there's so many products. Were you bringing another product? But I never stop sharing.
Wow. So that second meeting.
Never stop sharing. And I tell them, okay, I believe you got, there's so many products in Singapore. I believe that. But I said, you have to take A, B, C, D to help you. I'm just telling you, one product help A to Z. Cut your cost.
That's so important, what you just said. Can you say it again?
Telling, what? Pardon?
Can you say that again for people? Because it's really important, I guess, thing that you say that helps you a lot in talking to people.
Because you see, yeah, it helped me because you see, I tell people you're taking A, B, C, D to help you for your well-being, right? I'm telling you just one product, A to Z, help you everything. But during that time, I didn't know it helped A to Z, right? But I just tell them A to Z. Because I really have confidence about myself. I'm confident about my husband and my daughter. So I just say A to Z. And I just tell them, I'm not asking you to join the company. You just try one bottle. I was selling one bottle. And what happened?
You built it one bottle at a time, one prospect at a time. And I remember now that the second, third meeting, instead of booking, we want to save money. We didn't want to keep booking hotel rooms, not knowing that no one's going to show up, right? So what we started doing, I think it was the second or third meeting, we just, this big open, like open space area. It was like it's like a restaurant, a big open restaurant, no walls. It's like, wind blowing. And we just found one corner. It's like a big square, right? With the middle being the food area. We just found one section and we just started doing meetings, right? Like whoever wanted to come. Yeah. And so what we did was we said every hour.
Every 2 hours.
Yeah, 10, 12.
11 p.m. I think. Poor Renee had never didn't have dinner too.
It was crazy because all Amarjeet did was tell people, look, we have a session every 2 hours, 10, 12, 2, 4, 6. And I was thinking, okay, maybe, someone won't come and I can take a break. We have never done so many presentations in a day, but that's what it takes to get there, right, guys? We were E&E, excited but exhausted, but that's where, remember that one guy with the gout came in? This one guy had gout, came into the meeting. We put like 3 drops on his ankle that was like the size of like a balloon because it was inflamed. Gave him a full dropper. And by the time we finished the presentation, like the swelling had gone down and he was pain free, right? Yeah. But again, so like, how did it feel for you at that time? You know, going from meetings with 5 people and you booked a hotel room that cost money to now just doing these hourly sessions and having like what was going through your mind back then?
You see, okay, because I find that to book a hotel, people may not come, so I give timing, right? Everybody every 2 hours, you can bring your people, you can bring your people, you can bring your people. I find that was very effective because it's also face to face, one, and people can interact with you. Sometimes, you have a meeting in the hotel, people are shy to talk to you and all. This was very good because it was a table, everybody can interact with you, and we would close. Yeah, we had actually about 90% closing rate because the interaction was really like, together, face to face and talking. Yeah.
And don't forget, guys, right? During all these presentations, did we get objections? Were people asking a million questions? Yeah, of course they were, because it's a brand new product, right? And if in a market
Very,
where
very.
hundreds and thousands of other health products, wow. So that started things for you, and it kept growing. It kept growing. How big is your team today now, roughly? Do you know?
I have 1,874 people in 37 countries.
So you have 37 countries
Yeah.
under your team that started from like Calgary and Singapore, basically.
Yes.
Wow. That is, and what one goal that, well, I don't know if it's a goal of yours, but you were able to ascend. So what did you decide to open the Singapore and want to, put in even more money to open a Singapore distribution center?
Yes, when I saw the team was growing in Singapore, so I think I should help them and also have, to work together and all. So that's where I asked, Ramin was coming to Singapore, and there was the office was available with one of the partner where was a partner. And he says that I can use the office. So I say, okay, fair enough. So I said, since our CEO is coming, let him see the office. And Ramin gave me a green light, and they said, boom, that's it. I'm going to open a distribution center right away. So, yep, with my, yep, yes, by myself. And at the time I had a partner, and in October, November, he pull out, and I run by myself since then.
I mean, the one thing I'm hearing from you, Amarjeet, is that you're just like nonstop, go, go, go. You're always attacking, the business, right? I mean, that is just one of your characteristics that I think is great to hear about. And now, so you just mentioned you have a partner, and that partner is no longer your partner. And you know how so this whole thing, and again today, you were able to essentially like retire Mike. So your husband, who was living in Calgary, explain that to us, because I mean that's amazing to retire your spouse, right?
Yes, you see, Mike was actually supporting me when I was doing this business because we already pumped in about 20,000 into the business. And so I told him, you support me and with this business, and I know that this business will build. So he supported me from traveling, and he also pushed me, go to Singapore, you have a lot of friends there and all. So I would travel quite a bit. I'll stay 3 months and I'll move back, come back. So in 2018, when the business started growing, so I told, then we did in 2018, 2019, and I saw the team was growing, and that's where we decided to open the distribution center in Singapore. And I told Mike, when he was supporting me, I said, give me 2 to 3 years, I will retire you. And I did.
Wow.
So that was my goal.
So you told him upfront, give me 2 to 3 years and I will retire you, is what he told you. Now, well, MJ, we had to mention this because I know Mike officially was able to move back to Singapore like this past year, within a year ago. So that meant that from 016 till now, till last year, that you didn't see Mike every day. Like he was living in Calgary, you were living in. So, I mean, sometimes, folks, we have to hear of the challenges that like the sacrifices that we have to make to get this going. And so you sacrifice time with your husband. Like you, so in 1 year, like how many months would you see him? Would you say?
During that time also a month, and then I'll travel back again, about a month, and I'll travel back again. And yeah.
So like half
And
the
then
year.
2019, when I opened a distribution center, I think we did not see each other about maybe 6 months.
So half the year you were not seeing your husband, the love of your life, the man that supported you. But, and was that hard for you, that sacrifice?
Definitely it was hard for him, especially by himself there. So, I mean, for me is yes, because I'm busy building the business. So I still, can avoid. But for him was very, very difficult by himself. And yeah. So I told him, never mind, let's work on this. It's a hard time now, but we will enjoy it later.
That is so powerful, Amarjeet, that you knew, you got to put in some sacrifice now to reap the rewards later on. And of course, folks, ladies and gentlemen, Amarjeet Kaur is still to this day, she holds the record for the most consecutive monthly global revenue share, the MGR. She is the champion. She has never missed that bonus. So me and Reza got on that bonus like the second week. But while we were sleeping that first week, Amarjeet, snuck in there, grabbed that title. And she still, every single month, she qualifies for her MGR's bonus. She qualifies for the car bonus. She's an LD3. And, she's retired her husband. She runs a Singapore distribution center, her team in 37 countries. And folks, the reason why I'm saying all this stuff is because the person who introduced Amarjeet, where is that person, Amarjeet? Are they in the business still?
No.
No. So the person that Basil that we mentioned before in Australia, right? He's no longer in the business, right? So sometimes we have to recognize that people might act as bridges as we know it, right? The person you're talking to next, the next prospect, they might not even join your business. They might not even buy a bottle, but they could be a bridge to something much bigger, right? And what's really interesting is that this person tried to recruit Amarjeet into other companies that he's joined later on, right? So folks, one lesson here is, when you find a company like this, unfortunately, he just didn't understand what we have here. And what company did he go back to? This is what really shocked me and Amarjeet, was that
Amway.
So he went back to, again, we're not saying Amway's bad, but we're just saying it's like the dinosaur of the industry, right? But the comp plan is just horrible.
So it's very good to have all of you on the call. And
yeah, so so overall though,
actually, you know what? That's why I didn't want to meet up with Renee, because I've been with him a few companies, and he always does that. He'll jump and he'll bring you along. So that's why when he told me that Renee is coming, I said, no, I'm not interested, because, sometimes your upline drag you, and then when they drag you with you and then you work, and then they are not there for you. So why make me stay in GWT? This is very, very important, very, very important for every one of us. It was the MiFi that kept me going, because I'm a runner, right? I like to do things fast, and I like to put action. So I had MiFi. And the MiFi was Renee, Sarah, and Winnie. So I'm not a computer savvy person, right? So I will always text them and I get the answer right away. So that's why I said, this is the company that where I have a support and I will grow.
I think one really key thing you mentioned just now was that, the other person introduced you, he was, I guess we call it a grasshopper or a jumper, right? They're constantly jumping from one opportunity to the next opportunity. They see a shiny little carrot, hanging, and they just go and bite and they keep jumping. And I think that's a really important lesson for us here is that, guys, don't be that kind of person where you're constantly jumping, and that's why we have so much incredible training to explain to you and to prove to you why we are the best opportunity, the best comp plan, the best product, the best support system, the best everything, of course, in this industry, right? And so I mean, Amarjeet, tell us, like today, fast forward now, it's been 5, 6 years for you now.
5 years, 6 months, and 1 day.
Wow. And how's life for you nowadays?
It's amazing. It's amazing. I'm very happy that I'm in Singapore. I could help my family. Anyone who here, I have my time freedom, financial freedom to work on. So which is really, really amazing. And also to help others. You see other people struggling with financial and all. You can help them, give them. I don't fish for them. I said, you fish yourself. I can guide you. I can guide you to fish yourself. So
was it worth it?
Definitely it's worth it. It's really, really amazing. And the most important thing is when you help people with our fountain of life and you see the amazing testimonials coming out every day. And you know what? You just a thank you. Just a thank you to you, a call and say thank you is enough. Is enough.
Wow. And so was it worth all those sacrifices you put in?
101%. 101%.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, Amarjeet, I think a lot of us were able to see today a different side of you that perhaps we didn't know about, and we know how many millions of testimonials that we've now received and how many lives that you've changed. The simple decision, that one decision that she made to go and do this, right? That one thought decision many years ago, have now impacted tens of thousands of lives, across this world because of her decision. And likewise, the one decision that you can make to commit to this and to be relentless, like Amarjeet is, to keep on jumping off that airplane when other people's parachutes are not opening, right? To keep on going despite all the rejections that you will receive and all the stuff, it will change your life in the future, and Amarjeet, was there anyone that you want to call upon perhaps in your team to to share a few words? Did you want to call upon anyone?
Yes, is Pamela on the line? Pamela?
Yeah, I saw Pamela. Yeah, Pamela. Yeah, do you want to introduce Pamela and perhaps you can have her, yeah.
Yes.
Why don't you share with us a bit about Pamela?
Pamela is another incredible business partner, another leader who's coming up. And I learned a lot from her because she's also a nutritionist and she knows a lot about products of other companies. And I learned so much from her too. And Pamela, are you on the line?
Yes, I am. I am just so amazed by you, Amarjeet. There's so many stories that I didn't hear before. I've been with you for so long, and yet, wow, you just never fail to amaze me. I didn't know you were black belt taekwondo. Wow, that's superb. Yeah. What I love about Amarjeet is, from the day one that I know her, she's been the kindest person. She will just, even though, okay, I may have a lot of experience, but Opulence is very different. The platform is different. So I do not want to put forth the way I have been doing with other network marketing companies, but I want to learn from Amarjeet the way she does. And everyone that I invite, I'll ask her to come along and we do the three-way sit down, you know, in the coffee shop or in the food court. And, you know, that's
Oh,
how we started, right? No office. So I just say,
no.
yeah. I say, you free this afternoon? Yes, I am. Okay, I invite a friend. And she will never say no. I mean, she's not free that day, we can fix another day. And she's always there, always there. And, you know, if you have a problem, she say, don't worry, we'll get through it. Don't worry. Go to the next one. Go to the next one. You know, she's so encouraging. Then, and, you know, like with Haley and Jane, we just clicked together. And even during the lockdown time last year, that was tough because in Singapore, many of them, even till today, they do not like to go into the Zoom calls. This is a
Mm.
problem that we have with our Singapore market. And in spite of that, you know, in spite of that, we still kind of meet together and we still carried on. You know, she never really, you know, said, give us that, oh, what can we do now? You know, she never showed that side of discouragement at all. I mean, maybe she was, but she never showed. She showed,
Mm.
it's okay. We can get through this. We can get through this. You know, that's a leader. She's not a follower, she's a leader. And she's a great leader. I really appreciate all that she's doing. Until today, you know, she's there for us. You know how we start, right? We hotel, remember? We'll just sit together and, like she said, one by one. And that's what I learned from her. And I picked up from her how to close sales, how to close LA. I learned from her, not from anyone else, but the way she did it. She will write all on the paper. I took
Oh,
that
cool.
paper. I'm not an expert, but I'll take that paper. I say, I'll tell my friend, I'm not an expert. I'm copying, but I'll follow her technique. And I close. You know, after following her a few times, I managed to do it myself. So thank you, Amarjeet.
Well, Pamela,
He's a
hang on there because
great friend.
you are we want to feature you on one of these upcoming leadership talks because you have your own very very amazing story as well too. And congrats. I know that you're constantly launching new LAs. I know that you qualified for your bonuses last month as well too, and this month again you're constantly launching new people and you're showing people that despite a lockdown, right? You're showing the Singapore market that despite a lockdown, that you can still do this business. In fact, there's a way to do it very successfully as well too. And I still remember you mentioned that story one time where you had, I guess one last story before we close today that, were you gung ho the first time you saw this, or did you have doubts as well too?
When I first saw this business,
Yeah.
um, all right, when my brother told me about Fountain of Life, I said, no way, no way. I had enough of MLM. I am like, I don't want to do anymore because, we have all gone through that build, and it all comes down to naught. So that, no way. I'm just a happy user of some supplements and I'm just happy with that because I'm a fitness teacher. I'm still concentrating on my job. So it didn't bother me. But when I saw my sister working so well, then I said, she had knee problem. So I asked her, what is it that you're doing? She said, I'm taking this. Oh, you mean Fountain of Life? You're taking it? Yeah, for 2 months. Okay, I want to try. That's what I told her. Because I got a degeneration on my neck, the cervical. So when she gave me the bottle, I didn't know you have to take it. I poured it and I applied
Oh,
on
you're
my.
rubbing it. You weren't even taking it.
I didn't know. I just put a few drops here and, oh, it feels good. It's warm. It's nice. And I said, oh, I feel good. So I decided I bought a bottle. And later on, my brother told me, you have to consume it. Okay. So I started. And at that point, I think Sanas and Danny came. I think, yes, two of them.
Then we
So
had 100.
Yes, and I was so amazed by the presentation that I said, I'm going to join. But I saw everybody is so crowded. Ah, never mind, I'm going home. I'm going home.
Share with
That was
them that you not joined that day and you call me 2 days later to come down.
that was a mistake because when I joined, she said, you mean you made up your mind that day? I say, yeah. You know, you could have beat 20 people before you. Oh, really? You know, it didn't dawn on me. I didn't even know. So you see, it's very important to, when you bring someone, give them all the facts. Join today. You know what can happen. You never know. So,
Well, so basically, you waited. You had decided you wanted to join,
Days.
but
Two
you
days.
waited 2 days because
Then she
it's
called,
too it's too crowded. So you left the meeting.
yes, and she called
So
me after 2 days.
so important to know, right? Sometimes people leave the meetings not because they don't want to join, but because in her case it was just too crowded. And so 2 days later you joined, but 20 people had joined before you in those 2 days.
right? Yes. It was like
Wow,
everybody
right?
filling a
So
form, everybody
timing and
signing
positioning.
up. Oh, it doesn't matter. You know, it never, I didn't know that. And the other thing, when I went to meet her, a friend called me. She said, um, Pam, can you pray for me? My knee is hurting. I want to go back to teaching. I said, hey, come along with me. I'm going to see this lady, and I think this product will help you because it helped my sister. And that was before I became a partner. I decided to join. And another friend, I called another friend also. So three of us, we went to see Amarjeet with a few people. Then they told me, is it okay if you don't join? I said, it's fine. I'm joining. It's okay. You can just come and listen. So when Amarjeet showed us, I took out my credit card and both of them took their credit cards out. And they put it the same way. So Amarjeet said, do you know you qualify MGRS? What's that? I didn't even know what's MGRS. On the first day I joined, I qualified. I've
Wow.
never experienced a company like that.
You know what, Pamela? For sure, people want to hear your full story because you have an incredible story, and you're a rising a leader superstar. But I know that we probably went past the time. Like, I wasn't even actually watching the time correctly. It's 11:30. I'm not sure how much time. I know it's 11:30 p.m. for you guys at night in Singapore, and but I think just to again, I want to say thank you, Pamela, for coming on board and sharing your story too. We're going to feature you for sure, in a later episode. And again, you heard it right, folks. We finally we filled that meeting room that 1 year in Singapore. We had how many people in that meeting, Amarjeet?
In 1 year?
Yeah, that one meeting where Ramin came down. We had like
We had about, I think about 150 or maybe more.
yes, we finally accomplished our goal. Well, what you thought was the 100 people sign up, but of course we eventually did do the 150 people.
Yes, no, when Ramin came in, I think we had 70 or no, 80 over people sign up that
Yeah.
time.
Wow.
Yeah.
And how many people have you personally sponsored before we close off here, Amarjeet?
I firstly sponsor about 90 people.
Wow, 90 people. And did you talk to 90 people and all 90 signed up? Did you talk to a lot more and then 90 signed up?
Of course, I talk to a lot more, and I have good customers. My Grab drivers, my Uber drivers.
By the way, I think Amarjeet holds the record as well for selling the most Fountain of Life on her taxi ride on the way on the way home. Literally every time we were to take a taxi somewhere, and we do it together, we're actually selling bottles to the Uber in Singapore is called Grab, or Lyft now, and we're always selling bottles, and you're still selling bottles when you take the Lyft, right?
Oh, now I do bottles as well spray. When I go
Ah,
into the Grab, I'll spray. They say, why? I say this one to kill the germs.
mm. Always, always, always be sharing, right? Well, folks, again, if you had any other comments or questions you wanted to ask Amarjeet, feel free to ask those those questions or share some. I know, again, thank you so much everyone for all your amazing comments that you've been putting in the group chat. I've been reading it the whole entire time. You know, so yeah, but if you have any questions, feel free to ask Amarjeet right now. But again, yeah, you know, Amarjeet, again, on behalf of all of us here, thank you so much for taking the time this Sunday evening for you. I know it's getting really late to share and to inspire us with your incredible story. And I do hope that for a lot of, you know, our partners, especially the female partners as well too, that, you know, that Amarjeet was able to inspire you guys to, you know, take your business to a whole new level as well. So I saw Ifra come on the line here with the camera on. Ifra, did you want to share a few words too?
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Renee, for giving me the honor. Oh my goodness, I'm just getting ready for our call, our team call. We have our webinar. And I just wanted to say thank you so much to Amarjeet for inspiring us. I still remember the first day when I met you. It was 2018, my first convention, October. And we actually met at the, we were waiting in line to get it into the hotel room. And we had a 5-minute chit chat. And I remember you sharing your story with me, how you're like, nope, I did not want an MLM, nothing to do with it. And I joined and it was the best decision. And at that time you shared with me your dream of opening Singapore. And I was like, oh my goodness, that is amazing. So when I saw in 2019, a year later, opening up, I just remember that conversation. I'm like, my goodness. So my question to you, my dear, today is for anyone out there who's thinking the same and they want to do the same. Everybody wants to take the, you know, our amazing opportunity to back home to their country. What advice can you give us, my dear?
I would say that, you know what, if you have that will, just go and do it. Don't think about, oh, I'm going to have this, I'm going to have that. No, just go ahead and go and build it. No fear, because it's your back home, it's your home.
It's very straightforward, direct. I mean, I think Amarjeet is no hee hawing. She's just straightforward. No beating around the bush. Yeah, they just do it, as we all know, right?
Just do it.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Ronan, I saw your camera turning on here too. Again, well, thank you for being on the call as well, Ronan. Go right ahead.
I would not miss this call. It is amazing, you know, to be here for 7 years and to work with amazing people and partners such as Ifra Hassan and Amarjeet and yourself and Reza and so many others. But on these calls, I've just explained to a Bedouin partner next to me, I said, in these calls is how we create our family, because beyond the people that don't know us and are watching us and learning about our company, and I guess after a call like this with Amarjeet, everybody would probably call whoever invited them. They say, hey, how do I start this thing? Because I need to do this. So it is truly, today was inspiring. And Amarjeet, if I knew you and I should be skydiving a long time ago, you have a lot to teach me. I only have 76 dives. You sound like an individual I would live a whole lifetime with just going, because I can see your tomboy. And I think that it is fair to say that in our business, the biggest challenge is that we judge. You see, we see people, and just according to how they speak, how they look, or their mannerism, we judge. And I remember the first time I saw Amarjeet, and I am telling you that if I was a gambling man, I would have put my money on all those impressive speakers and great, she was beautiful as a person. She was lovely. I remember the first time. I think it was her first convention. And this is the best lesson for us. Never, ever judge, because you never know who has done what. I never know that such an incredible explorer personality exists within Amarjeet. And we know each other since the first day she started, right? The same, by the way, happened to me with Ifra Hassan when I've met her the first time, and she was timid and quiet. And I looked and I said, immediately you judge. Say, really? Will she have the strength? Will she not stop? And look, she became one of the most notorious leaders in this company in a very short period of time, 2.5 years, 3 years. Amarjeet has been my cornerstone of beating myself up, because she has been a solid rock qualifying for MGRS. And MGRS is what everybody has to do every month in this business, and that's it. Your business will be done. And consistency has always been my biggest challenge. And the Amarjeets of this world are the ones that give me the inspiration to say, you are kidding me? If you truly want something, you need to become that personality like the owner of our company. You need to want to be the world champion. You need to want to be the best in Spider. You need to be the best in whatever you choose. And if we choose to promote to the world and educate them about the best solution for all kinds of health in the world, and we can make them look good because we have the best fashion in the world, this is without a doubt the thing that you are hearing today, the inspiration, the excitement of a partner that's been doing the same thing for what now, more than 4 or 5 years at least, right? Most people that do the same thing for 5 years.
It's my 48 months in MGRS, 4 years, continuous.
4 years. So 4 years, most people are bored. They don't like what they do. Amarjeet is more excited today than she was when I've met her on the first day. And this is the proof of why this platform, and truly the real accolades, the real thank you has to go to a very stubborn man called Ramin Masgalu that has done most things that most people won't do. He has put his life totally 16 years from the morning to the night in an office, working, doing things none of us would be willing to do, and took it upon himself to really give the world something real. And it is now us, every one of you that is watching, and thank you, Amarjeet, everyone that is watching, it is about us taking this and letting the world know, because they don't believe TV anymore. They don't believe advertisement. They don't believe it. If they hear it from someone they believe, they will try it, they will explore it, they will become a prophet to thousands of other people to know what we bring into this world. Thank you, Renee. Thank you, Amarjeet. It has been such a pleasure.
Thank you, Roman. Thank you, Ifra. You guys are also always inspire me. Seeing you guys, I get inspired too. So I have to keep on going.
Hi, Renee. It's Maria Batiste here.
Hello, Maria. Please go ahead and share with us.
Fantastic. Thank you, Renee. Thank you, Amarjeet. Oh my goodness. And thank you for everyone. I could not miss this call. I mean, I'll say thank you for that great inspirational story. You know, I remember when I met Amarjeet in 2017 that was in October, we were heading down to Niagara Falls. And that's the first time when I met her, I said, such a humble lady. When I actually met her, we had a lot in common because, of course, her athlete background and mine, we get along. And I say, what a beautiful woman, beautiful inside out. We had an opportunity. We celebrate again on the cruise together with Renee and Mavis, and all of us had a tremendous. And then when I see the true color of that woman, I love her. I love her spirit. I love the determination, the tenacity of not giving up. And she's basically, as you say, straightforward. She tell you the way it is. Take action. Let's get it done. And I always admired that discipline about her. But then at the same time, she was such a humble, beautiful woman inside out. You are inspired so many of us of what you have done, what you have accomplished, because you're set your mind, laser focused no matter what, and get it done. I admire you. I love you. And I thank you so much for the great inspiration that you inspire so many of us around the world. I'm with you. I remember again when we started the MGRs, myself, Amarjeet, Renee, and we going head and head. I mean, I had it for 2 years in a row. And then of course, pandemic come and slow down, but Amarjeet, no matter what, she stayed in. So we super love you for what you have done and continue to inspire us until now. Well, I'm with you head and head. One team, one dream to the billion. Thank you so much again. And have a blessed day. Thank you, Amarjeet. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Amarjeet, I think again, I can thank you, Marie, for that incredible share. Of course, Irfa and Ronan, and again, everyone, our leaders, you don't want to miss the next episode because you hear so much incredible stories. Amarjeet, by the way, just want to read some comments here from some of our partners from Berlin. Amarjeet is a parachute jumper and a fighting champ. So she'll only be straight and direct. I'm so inspired with your story, Amarjeet, including those parts I'm hearing for the first time. Many hearts. And Amarjeet, you have a new name. So aside from Bouncer and Captain and AJ, Jeet, Kaur, Amarjeet, your new name is from Ifra. Thank you so much, my dear Amarjeet and Renee, for a fantastic call. Super inspired by your story. You'll always be my shiro. So so we have a hero, but you are a shiro. So we're gonna add that name to your collection of names now to Shiro. Uh, that's
Thank you.
awesome. Thank
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, April, for that. So many comments here, but again, we know it's getting a bit late here for a lot of people in Asia. Again, from myself, and on behalf of Amarjeet, thank you guys so much for tuning in this wonderful leadership cocktail. Again, some quick announcements here. Don't forget, we have our product crossfire, of course, tomorrow evening. You will, of course, find this recording. We will be recording this. It will be uploaded as well if you want to share with anyone else too. And again, guys, as always, one dream, one team to the billion. Thank you so much for being here. Again, Yulia, thank you for always getting the call launched and for being here the whole time, Yulia. Great job hosting this month. And I guess that being said, yeah, let's get focused, keep on sharing, and wish you all a fantastic day or evening. And take care, everyone. Thanks for being here.
Again, thank you very much. And everyone, thank you. And have a good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thank you.
To the billion.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Have a great time. To the billion.
To the billion.
To the billion.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, Amarjeet.
Bye-bye.